Let's talk about getting our 72-hour food storage started. We mentioned this in the previous video. And the one thing to do is to make sure you're reading the sales flyers. I know you probably already do that, but what we're doing now is looking for foods that will sustain us if there's a food shortage or maybe a lack of food. So we're not looking for sugary cereals and snacks. We need food that provides calories, protein, and vitamins. Rice and beans are still fairly cheap now, and when combined provide a complete protein. Pick up as much as you can every trip to the store. Get canned vegetables and canned meats. Now there is a supply of food, and you can get sales every week. Okay, I wanted to go to a local grocery store and check out what they have, so I'm just checking it out online. Stop and Shop is one of our local grocery stores, and I put in canned meat here. Here are some canned meats that you can pick up, especially if you don't normally buy canned meats. Now, if you don't like deviled ham, don't buy it, but there's all kinds of other canned meats here. Chef Boyardee ravioli beef, beefaroni, mini raviolis, chili mac. So just go through here. Here's actually lasagna. You get crab meat here, chicken breasts, white chicken breasts with rib meat in water, chicken spread, spam, all different kinds of spam, by the way, now, and not just ham, but you get the oven roast turkey. These will last a long time. So you want to check these out. And then I did click on the ravioli here. And if you look at this, it has 220 calories per 1 cup serving. That's a pretty good amount of calories. I mean, you're not going to get that. You might get it in oatmeal and some rice, so that's pretty good. Lots of carbohydrates, not as much protein as you might think. And then you can look at the ingredients and see what's in here. But this would be a good food if it's something you're used to eating. If it's not something you're used to eating, but you know that you would eat it because you're in a no food situation, then go ahead and buy it. I went to the rice here, and you can see the different rices that they have. Different kinds of bags. This is a plastic jar, and these bags, you might look at this bag that's probably pretty much waterproof, but I might just throw the bags right in that 5-gallon bucket or 3-gallon bucket. All the different kinds of rices. So you can see that there are rices that you can pick up. Brown rice, boil in a bag. This might be good if it doesn't require water. Boil in the bag might not require water. I'm not sure. Can we click on it and see? Pre-cooked. Directions. I don't see any directions. So you'd have to pick up the package when you get there and look. And then I put in beans. Look at all the different beans. And beans are fairly cheap here, only 89 cents a can. And beans, when combined with rice, give you that complete protein. So check out the different beans, throw in a few cans. They're going to last a couple of years and probably longer if they don't have anything in them. Whereas baked beans might have oil in it and they might not last as long, but these other beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, etc., cannelli beans, etc., they'll last a long time. Pork and beans, if it's something that you use, go ahead, pick some cans up, but be sure to rotate. And then I went over to Costco here, and notice you can get a 6-pack of chicken breast. And they're fairly cheap, $11.49. Take $10, extra and buy stuff. Here's $13.99 for 12, a 12-pack. That's pretty good. So just looking through here, Vienna sausage, that wouldn't require any refrigeration. Now, I would never eat that, so I wouldn't buy it. But if it's something that your family eats, go right ahead. Check out, though, and see how many calories you get from it, how much protein you get from it. But there are all kinds of things you can pick up at these stores. And don't forget the dollar store, loads of things to pick up at the dollar store. If you don't think the grid is going down, you can fill your freezer with meat. If you think the grid will be down and we don't have electricity, you're going to need canned goods. But don't buy things you don't eat. You want foods that will sustain you, but are ones that you normally eat, because you will be rotating your food stock as you go along. Go to your regular supermarket. Try the big warehouse stores like Costco. If you're not a member, I'm sure you can find someone who is, and go with them once a month or more. And don't forget the dollar store. You can get some good food there. And of course, Walmart. Again, look for food that will sustain you during a time when there is no food available. How about dehydrated food? Since we are building to a year's supply and not a 25-year supply like most preppers, I probably wouldn't start with dehydrated or freeze-dried or MREs. That's not to say at some point I won't purchase them, but right now my goal is 72 hours, then 3 weeks, then 3 months, then a year. If you don't have any money to buy 72 hours of food all at once, just pick up some extra cans every week. Just 2 cans a week will give you 48 cans in 6 months. Look for tuna on sale, canned meats, chili, canned salmon, canned chicken. If you eat them, sardines. Cured meats don't need refrigeration. Try Spam and canned ham. But be sure to check the expiration dates. Soups probably won't give you the calories you need and won't really fill you up, so you better spend your money on something else. Try to get food that is good for at least a year. Most of the time we can get it for 2 years before it expires. And we're going to be rotating it as we eat it from our preps. Most canned goods, except tomato products, will last long after the expiration date. Oatmeal is a really good storage food. Lots of calories and filling. Get pasta, hamburger, and sauce. Peanut butter is good, but check the expiration date. The oil in it will become rancid after it expires. If you normally eat it, buy it and rotate it. Now, I have a basement and I will store my food there. I'm not going to buy shelving, as I would rather put my money into food. Maybe as time goes by, I'll get some shelving, but for now, no. All I'm going to do is put a piece of cardboard box on the cement and then put boxes on top of the cardboard and store the cans in boxes. If I can find a pallet, I will use it, but I won't let not having it stop me. I know some of you will tell me in the comments that I should use shelving, but since I have virtually no food stored, I'm going to put it off and put that money into food. For rice and beans, not in cans, but in bags, check your basement. Make sure it's not very humid or wet. And look and see what kind of bags the rice and beans are in. Will they let the moisture in? Check and make sure you don't have mice. If you think bugs might get into the bags, pick up some 5-gallon or 3-gallon buckets with airtight lids and store your rice and beans in them. Now, if you think you might have any bugs in your rice, you can always freeze the rice before putting it in buckets to kill any bugs that might be in the bag. Now, I'm not going to use Mylar or vacuum seal because I'm not keeping the food for years at a time. If I ever do, then that's what I would do. Some people say get some protein powder, but again, it doesn't last that long either. If you're not used to drinking it, you probably won't. After you get your staples, go for spices, ketchup, mayo, mustard, maybe even a few treats. Coffee doesn't store for a long time, but many brands will last a year. But coffee should not take the place of a good, sustainable food. Take stock of what you have and what you need for each meal for 72 hours. Buy meats, vegetables, fruits, carbs. Buy variety. You're going to get tired of eating the same thing for month after month. You want calories, fiber, protein, and vitamins. A rule of thumb is to plan on 2,000 calories per person per day, divided up between 3 to 4 meals. A working man will require a bit more, a woman probably doesn't need as much, and children won't need 2,000 calories. Now, bread won't last very long, but crackers will last a bit longer. So you can add peanut butter to crackers and you can have a satisfying meal or snack. If you do go for protein powder, you might want to pick up some powdered milk, maybe even some hot chocolate to go with the powdered milk. Granola is a good food, but again, it usually has oils in it and won't last much past the expiration date. So be sure to rotate it. Protein bars are good if they're not the sugary kind, but again, you're checking expiration dates. Once you are well on your way to 3 months of food storage, get some canned fruit juices, V8, grape juice, etc. Check out the expiration date on a bag of flour. If it's far enough in the future, you can make bread with it. You can also make a lot of things with just 2 or 3 ingredients, flour and water. Lots of YouTube videos on bread made with 2 ingredients or 3 ingredients. Nuts are good again, but they're not going to last much longer than their expiration date because they contain oils. Instant potatoes are really good and calorie rich. So it's time now to start to get your food supply. And don't forget to comment if you have anything that will help new preppers. And as always, please subscribe. Our next video is entitled, Is Food Storage Really Necessary?